Very nice, very nice, very nice. Let me send this to the peoples on the Telegram. Time for action. So good morning. This is a great morning today, and I hope you are okay. And God has blessed you with the gift of health and the gift of peace of mind. So if God has blessed you with the gift of health and the gift of peace of mind, you are very okay. Okay? You are very okay. Unless you yourself don't think you are okay. So how many people are in the live? Alright. So it's a great morning. We are back at it again. GBPUSD. GBPUSD. We continue with the circus. Day 2 now of the circus now. We are experiencing what we are calling circus. There's a lot of clowns in this market right now. But remember, these clowns are performing for an audience. So, we are the audience. Okay? So, when you see the market behaving in this manner, it is not giving you clear direction. Sometimes it is going, it becomes very suspicious. Very suspicious. Okay? So, for example, yesterday, yesterday there was a move. Hey, there's a move yesterday, a 60 pip move. Good morning, Chris. How are you, sir? I hope you are okay. So yesterday there was a move, but the move happened during the New York session. So I was telling you, sometimes you may be caught up in a circus. The market wants you to get in, and this is where people now succumb psychologically. You start forcing trades where there are none. Because if you're not making some money, you can start to put pressure on yourself, which is not a good thing. So always we have to remember that not all time is eating time, but all time is hunting time. So we will not hunt daily, but we will not eat daily, but we will hunt daily. And we started by hunting yesterday by learning how to set more traps by using this alert. This alert tool. So I'm still waiting for my position to be triggered. Let us see. Wah, wah, wah. Eh, Chris, are you seeing this? Did you get in? This is serious. So what happened yesterday on US 30 is that just mind games. So what happened yesterday on US 30 is that US 30 closed above this order block here, and then at around 12 p.m. it retraced back, and then it gave us a fib entry. But how would we have known that? Yet for us, we were timing it in the New York session. We will not have known that. So US 30 provided a very good entry yesterday, but only if someone would have been observing it in the after the still, if someone would have set an alert here that if price breaks this level, anyway, this is the during the London session. So we said we are going to be waiting for the US 30 from 4:30 a.m. So how did it behave from 4:30? So it continued with the trend during the New York session. It even broke this order block here. Alright, okay. And then it gave a retest. So we want to understand how has US 30 behaved since yesterday when we left each other, because I thought my alert is going to be triggered, but it was not. So it broke this level, this high 15 minutes into the New York stock market open. Then it came and retested, then we continued buying. It is quite impressive. So now what is the analysis today? Because the market moved and we were not there and we were not alerted. So what is the next move? So the next move is to find the best entry again. Remember, we cannot get tired of looking for good entries at all. So in fact, we have seen that this is where the liquidity exists right now. Oh my God, there is too much liquidity here. You see all these weeks, this is liquidity. This is liquidity. So we might be headed to we might be headed to 51,000. This is the next stop. Why 51,000? Because 51,000 we must, not we might, we are headed into 51,000. Why? Because this liquidity must be taken out, and the next logical number will not be 50,000, even if it is an IPL level. So an IPL level is an institutional Let me see how many people are listening before I drop these secrets. How many of you are you listening? How many of you? How many are you? All right. All right. So there is only one. So you are three of you now. Don't know whether you are one or you are three. This one is not very clear. So I'm about to drop another secret, but unfortunately, no, fortunately for you, this week I have, in fact, after this lesson, I'm recording those lessons for you and posting them on YouTube. Now it will be upon you and your concentration to go back and look at those recordings. Very nice. You are 5 of you. Okay. Now we are saying simply, based on this price action, okay, based on this price action, price has the potential to get to 51,000, but first it will get to 50,000 and then it will get to 51,000. But let us first target 50,000. Why? Number one, there is liquidity up here. Number two, we have IPL levels. When price is breaking new and newer and newer and newer and newer levels which have never been unlocked, because right now US30, this is the highest level we have ever been on US30. We have never been on another level apart from this. In 2020, what? In 2023, when I was trading US30, it was trading at 33,000. Right now, US30 is trading at 50,000. So it has never, these levels have never been broken. So it is continuously setting new highs, new higher highs, new higher highs. So this is a higher high. This is a lower high. Let me show you practically. So this one is a lower high. Okay, these are lower highs and these are higher highs. Higher highs. This one you learn in baby pips when you are beginning your university, Forex Education University. So higher highs. So price, when it's trending very well, it has a tendency to form lower highs and higher highs, lower highs and higher highs, and that is exactly what US30 is doing. It is forming new highs. So when it clears this liquidity here, we expect it to close above, and once it closes above, the potential is limitless. So our first level will be at 51,000. Why 51,000? Because it's an IPL level. So institutional price level, or the IPL level. IPL level. So these secrets you only learn them when you get deep inside the ICT. So we have several IPL levels. And why do we call them IPL levels in the first place? Because that is a question you have to ask yourself. You don't just take information from somebody. You have to question what they are saying. So why do we call them IPL levels? So to me, these are things I have proved to be right for me. And that is what I am teaching you and I'm telling you. So the way I have analyzed the market, I have backtested. These levels have proved to be very useful to me over time. Over time, they have been very useful. Now, why do we call them IPL levels or institutional price levels? Because we believe that is where hedge funds are putting their long-term positions or just important positions. That is why we call them IPL levels. Okay? Now, the first IPL level is usually 800. The other one is 500. The other one is 200. And the other one is 0, 0. Okay? So how do we identify these levels? Number one, for example, 50,000. 50,000, the way we have it there, that is an IPL level. 5,800 is another IPL level. So price has the ability and potential to get to that level. Alright? Then we have 51,200 because it has 200 at the end. When we expand this further, we come and meet 51 here. So you meet 51. So these are IPL levels. So once price breaks closes above energetically with a marubozu, we said a marubozu is a very strong candle, a no-nonsense candle, so to call a marubozu. So when we close above with a marubozu and we retest just a bit, our first target will be 50,000, then we shall aim for 51,000. Simple and clear. Now, the way USD is going, we have established that we are on a buy. Now let us go to the 4 hours and see whether this buy is sustainable. Now when you come to the 4 hour, we get very interesting information. Very interesting information. So we shall have to take this whole candle here. So here we are presented with a weak order block here. So we are presented with a weak order block. So a weak order block is an order block where it takes more than 3 candles to form. So normally a strong bullish order block looks like this. Look like this one here. And the more you study these order blocks, the more you will have a feel for them, the more you will understand them. So this is not a one thing lesson. You have to immerse yourself in the work. So this is a clean bullish strong OB. Okay, this one here is a clean bull. Okay, this one is not a very clean bullish. It's not very clean bullish. So for it to be clean bullish, it has to for example, if it's a bullish candle, the bear candle has to be smaller than the bull candle. So the bull candle has to dominate the bear candle for it to be a strong bearish, a strong bullish. Okay, but if we have such a candle here, this is an indecision candle. This is an indecision candle. Then there is also a bull candle, and then so it becomes a very confusing formation. And this one indicates that regardless of what we want, price is still going to go through this, so it will still go up. So the next question we ask ourselves, where will 4:30 p.m. find us? Because that is the only time you can take trades. Don't let these other sessions fool you. 90% of the time you should be making your money in the New York market stock exchange. Before that, it is better you keep off. Okay, and remember, you are collecting a sample for US30. If you are collecting a sample for US30, you should also have a specific time when you are collecting that sample, so that at the end of the year or at the end of a quarter, now you can verify what your samples have been giving you every day or every week. So with US30 and the way it is behaving, the only thing I would expect it to do is to close above this level. That is today when? Today during 4:30, for it to close above. And when it closes above, you just wait for a simple entry or a re-entry, because you may want a re-entry. So when it closes above like that, then it retests a bit. Now we are good to go now. Okay, it will come here, it will break this level, then it will continue. So I'm not expecting it to form a clean Judah swing. So for this one, maybe this is our Judah swing for today. We said not all the times price will form a clean Judah swing. And remember what I said yesterday. If there is no news, by the way, that is why this market is behaving. If there is no news, you don't need to engage that market. And we said news is tomorrow in the evening. FOMC. So today is day 2 of no trading. So tomorrow we have FOMC, and when we have FOMC, that is when now the market opens, and we shall be there. So you don't want to do anything stupid before FOMC is released. So what happens when news is released at 10 p.m. Okay, we get the weekly move through FOMC. In fact, there are some people who say, although I have not backtested this, but I want to backtest this when I get time, that the move which is formed during NFP becomes the move of the month. So if during NFP we were buying, or during NFP the market trended bullish, it means for the whole month we have just got a blueprint of what will happen. So I don't know whether that is true. NFP occurs all the Fridays, all the first Fridays of the month. So this is my analysis for today for US30. Anything above that, I will not even recommend. So this might be our low of the day today. Remember, we are trending in seek and destroy conditions. Seek and destroy conditions are conditions like these ones now. You know, not every day we have to be eating. Sometimes we are just protecting our money so that we can get good setups. Okay? So if you have not overcome the pain of missing trades, then you have not yet read McDouglas. That McDouglas says that sometimes we shall miss trades, sometimes we shall leave money on the table. For example, we might put our trade here, then we take our profits here, then the market comes up this point. So you have to understand that you will face that pain. of leaving the money on the market. That is cost of doing this business. Right? So that is that for you as that. Now we have GBP USD. GBP USD. Even if I would want to praise this market, but this is not a good market trading. Okay, this is not a very good market to trade in. It is not a very good market to be trading in. So what is the analysis for GBP USD? What would I want to see? So my bias is first is a buy. Remember, we changed the direction of our bias because we have liquidity here, and liquidity is denoted by wicks. So you have to highlight these wicks here. These are wicks. That is where liquidity exists, and price has to close above those wicks. In fact, by the way, so it seems that all those pairs are buying. Why are they all buying? So we don't like to ask ourselves those questions as technical analysts, because for us, we are just observing patterns and taking advantage of the patterns. Whatever is happening is none of our concern. And that is why some people say traders are sadists. We make money when people are suffering. We make money when people are winning. For example, during the stock market crash of 1929, Jesse Livermore made 100 million, and some people wanted to kill him. They wanted to stone him to death, because how dare you make money when you have lost everything? How dare you? Okay, so this sudden rise in this sudden weakness in USD, in the DXY, I don't understand why, but I'm not here to know what. This thing has dipped. So my initial plan was for DXY to close, because DXY has already closed above, meaning the buy direction is already confirmed. So I wanted to get in around this place, but that was invalidated. Where? So DXY is dumping heavy dumping. Let me tell you, serious dumping. But from what I'm seeing, also, well, let us wait. If price breaks above this level, then this might be our low of the week, but we have to get those confirmations first. Remember, I work with confirmations, not my analysis. So I might analyze very beautifully here, low of the week. So to me, this looks like a low of the week, because of how this market began by first dumping. So if we can break this high, I don't know that we can, but if we do that, then we might be seeing a move. So you have to keep eyes on both sides of the coin. You cannot be so stuck. So if you get such a move, you can pump up to 98,200. So what does it mean? What does this mean for GBP/USD? Very nice. That is why I wanted to also highlight here. If this market closes above, below, not above, below. If it closes below, okay. So if it closes below, we might dump. So we have to get these confirmations for today. Because let me tell you, truly, there's no need of putting your money where you are not confident. You have to be confident in where you are putting your money in. Okay? And for this trade, I would rather, so even if it does anything else, I have no problem, by the way. So even if it buys suddenly, it will not annoy me, because I would rather wait and see what is happening rather than trying to rush. So we wait for it to break this level. If it breaks, we go down. Same case for US30, same case for USD share. Let us see USD share. Because it will only make sense, it will only make sense if we got another entry here. Okay, there's no way these entries are only for the lower time frames. Even in the higher time frames, we get second entries, we get good entries. So if price wants to sell properly, we have to have a small retracement. That is the best. That is what I can. And that retracement, I highly suspect, I highly suspect that it is going to be during FOMC. So you see, everything is timed. Everything looks like a game until it is. In fact, we should set an alert now. We should set an alert. Now, what will be our confirmation to go for that buy? Very nice, very nice. Very nice. So because yes, that is what it has to do for us to be convinced that we are going up for a second distribution. So normally when we go the first time, a lot of people are left. So what they do when those people are left by the markets, what they try to do is getting aggressively. Okay. Now when you put a fib like that, imagine, look at this beauty here. This is beauty. Now when you trade live action, you begin to see beauty. This is beauty, I tell you, my friends. Because the fib shows us that the sweet spot level is at this level, and this sweet spot level, believe it or not, coincides with these levels which have been broken. Okay, coincides with these mitigation blocks. So one thing you have noted with my trading is I'm not very quick to place trades, because alright, now that's a good level. So I'm not very quick to place trades, because unless you have confidence in your mind, in your soul, in your heart that this trade is going to work, there's no need of getting that trade. In fact, I always tell someone, if you're not, well, you should not be sure, but if you're not 100% sure that this trade will work out, it is better to not get in that trade. Well, you don't have to be sure, but you have to be confident. If you're not confident in your trade, don't get in. You're just torturing yourself for nothing. And no amount of peer pressure will make me get in a trade which is not a good trade. So we have the sweet spot level, and it coincides with the mitigation blocks. We call them the mitigation. Everybody say mitigation. So mitigation blocks. So mitigation blocks. Yes, blocks, because they are many. It's not just one, there are many. So now we have to wait for price to get there, we wait for price to break this level, and then we also get in. That is, if it does that. It is already showing signs because it has closed above this level. So if it can do us a favor and give us more confirmation, we can be happy. And how many pips are those? Only 23 pips. We're targeting 88. So 88 minus 23 is 63. So you spend 63, not even spending. You wait for 23 to get 69 while costing yourself no money. But if you have a good capital, if you have a very strong capital, I would advise you use as a small filler. It's called a filler. So like 0.01. So you put 0.01, then you keep on checking whether it has broken that level. Or you can even set an alert. So the best is an alert. That is if you're going to be a busy man. An alert. You said you set an alert. After you set an alert, you just place your line on the price level you think it's going to get okay. Just a minute. Okay, we are back. So unless price does this is what we are planning for price to do. If it does not do that, then it has to come and break this level. Because remember, we are in the seek and destroy conditions, and these are conditions which have the ability to destroy you, your money, your dignity, your life, if you joke around. So only 27 pips to confirm for us whether we are selling down. So I am open to both ways, but I'm more inclined to a buy on USD chef, so that we can get a second entry to sell. So sort of creating like a high of the week. Then we sell, we continue with the sell on DXY, because this is a very big of a move not to have a retracement. I don't know whether you understand me. A very big move has to have a retracement. So that is that for USD CHF, and GBP USD the same. So whatever GBP USD decides, we shall be there, but it is better for it to close below this 1 hour OBs first, so that we can be quite sure. Alright, last time it failed to get to this level, we said that's okay, and we shall keep on doing that until we get a good entry or a good level where we can get in. So you can see this is not an easy job. If it was easy, we would have at least 40% winners and 60% losers. But now we we have 95% losers and 5% winners. Can you see that's a very sad scenario? Okay, and one of the reasons is now what we are doing here, waiting. No one wants to wait for a good trade, because waiting for a good trade is tiresome. Waiting for a good trade is tiresome. Setting good traps is tiresome. Journaling is tiresome. Observing the markets daily is tiresome. Having emotional control, very tiresome. Very tiresome. Very tiresome. That is why these people. As for people, imagine, easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. But when the market gives us a hand, we shall be there waiting patiently to pounce. For now, we just wait for the meat to cook properly. Cook properly. Everyone else who is in a hurry, that is their problem. I told you, on the days preceding FOMC or NFP or CPI, those. By the way, this is a serious gem I'm dropping here, guys. CPI, FOMC. Then we have NFP. Okay, and when I never knew this, I have lost a lot of money, because I'm trying to understand why is the market moving so slowly. Okay, so on the days preceding CPI, FOMC, and remember, I have told you, you don't have to take my word for it. Go in there, backtest. Backtesting is going through the charts, going back in time with a book and a pen and noting whether these things happened. So CPI, FOMC, and NFP give something called seek and destroy conditions, or create, not give, they create seek and destroy conditions. What are seek and destroy conditions? Seek and destroy conditions is when the market is moving very slowly, or it is not very clear. For example, if the market is not very clear, those are seek and destroy conditions, because a good market has to be very clear. By the way, trading is not very complicated. It is us who try to complicate it for nothing. So when the market is not clear, you wait until it is clear. So 2 days before NFP, FOMC or CPI, the market is usually very slow. Or when there is news, no, when there is holiday, the market is very slow. Those are seek and destroy conditions. Now look at this one. Look at this movement. Look at this movement. First of all, it never closed above with a clean candle, but it still came and retested and then continued buying. So anyone who was caught up in that, you only have yourself to blame. Number two, but I can see it is forming very clear. We already have our high of the week. So if you can get a good confirmation where we are coming down, by Thursday we should have got that move. So this is a prediction for Thursday. So Thursday, when we close above this level, maybe even tomorrow night, Thursday morning we shall be here. It might be here. Price might be here. And when it gets to this place, we are going to ride all the way. All the way. Sweet peeps. 80 pips. 80 pips, let me tell you. Why have I underlined this line? Oh my god. So this level was the highest high, was the high of the year of 6th January. But when priced marubosed it or closed above it, we might get a retracement for us to continue buying. But for sure we are going up, and we have to clear that liquidity level. We have to. So whatever price is planning, we shall be there. So we don't have to have that confirmation. We can even have this confirmation here. That simple confirmation, because it's a 4 hour. It's a 4 hour bullish OB. Now when you drop the 1 hour, so when you close below for the 4 hour OB with an energetic candle, we close below, then we can be sure we are coming to this level, so that we can get a good buy. And this level is also a fair value gap, so it's a win-win for us if we wait. It's a win-win if we wait. Is this still live streaming? Alright, we also have people on YouTube. So whenever you are in these live sessions, you have to understand and agree. You have to agree first that you are here to hunt. You're not here to make profits or even to take losses. You are here to hunt, and sometimes you become the hunted. Sometimes you go home a lion with a big kill. Sometimes you are the antelope, and sometimes, and many times, by the way, not sometimes, you are just scanning the jungle to see whether there is someone who is not being careful with themselves, so that you can pounce. For example, now we are scanning the jungle. We want to know or we are waiting for the foolish buyers to get in immediately, or the impatient traders, because one thing Warren Buffett said is that the stock market is a conduit for transferring money from the patient to the impatient. So the stock market is a conduit for transferring money from the patient to the impatient. So the only thing, our job right now is to be patient enough and see what the market holds for us. Immediately it closes below this level with a candle, then we have to go down, 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 down. I would wish there is another entry for us to buy. It will be more convincing rather than the market just outrightly buying. So let us look at gold. So our only play here for gold, the only play we have, the only card I can see we have here based on this market is for this market to close above 5,100. Okay, by the way, it has gotten to 5,000 yesterday. So now we are witnessing a new phenomenon where gold, the dollar is dumping. We can ask ChatGPT that question, because I don't know everything. You can ask ChatGPT when gold is surging, silver is surging, and the dollar is dipping. Explain deeply what this means for what this means. Because there's a sudden There's a sudden buy momentum in all these pairs. They have just been trending, and now the dollar is dumping very seriously. So there must be a fundamental explanation. But if price closes above this level, we are surely going up. We'll continue buying. So we'll just need a small retracement in the 5 minutes time frame for us to go in. Just like that. It is very interesting that all these pairs are buying now, and we would like to know what is happening fundamentally. Are they introducing the CBDC? But we don't care to know. We only care to be in that trade. So it is another day, another dollar. But unfortunately, we are not taking any trades today. These are some of the boring days, and this is how we are going to stay with these boring days. They are a lot, and you cannot get used to them. We'll just continue every day this way. So does anyone have a question before I end the live stream? Because I don't think I'm going to take any trade today. I would not even want to put my money when there is no volatility in the markets. It would not be very fair for my wallet, and yet I love my wallet. So if we don't have any questions, because I will not be taking any trades and I don't like the movement of this market, we shall meet tomorrow from wherever we have stopped. But this is not to mean that when something happens we shall not communicate. If I'm going to go live tomorrow during FOMC, I will inform you earlier so that you can prepare.